When we started working with Cedar Valley, one of the things that was really important to them was that the youth theater room be sort of the showcase room, especially when it came to the sound system. This room is used for youth group and youth worship services, and I think one of the coolest things about it is that the church made such an investment. This is hands down the best sounding sound system that we've ever done, and we were really happy with the end result. This is the Electro Voice XI series loudspeaker in a left center right configuration. So this room is a true left center right sound system, as well as having rear channel speakers on the back wall for 5.1 surround sound for movie nights. So a lot of people would say, well, why make such a huge investment in this type of thing? And I guess the question that I would ask them is, who's going to be attending your church in 20 years? Are you going to impact the youth and the young people of your church and really make that investment? And I just am so proud that I was involved in this project for that reason. So the sound system in this room is loud. It can get really loud. It can get to the point where it's shaking you to the core, seriously. So they will run video playback or worship, hip-hop type stuff. They'll run many different types of content into that 110 decibel program range. And I'm going to play a track for you right now so you can just see how loud it'll get. The speakers or the microphone on the camera might clip out a little bit, but you'll still get to see and hear how loud it gets.
Pick me up, love. Pick me up, love. Every day. Pick me up from the bottom up to the top, love, every day.
This room features a Crestron touch panel so that an everyday user can use this room to give a presentation, have a very basic event in here, or it also allows a technical user through a password to have much more control over the system. So here I'm going to hit technical user. I'm going to enter the password in. Now what we can do too with this system is we have 3 separate projectors, and the side projectors project the same thing, but the center projector is different, so we can send separate content to the center or the sides of any of the inputs, whether that's the computer in the back or the stage laptop input, the DVD player, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the stage at Cedar Valley's youth theater room. A couple of the unique features is that this stage is very, I want to say modular. We can do a lot of different things. It is wood, which is an excellent surface to perform on if you're a musician. And there's a lot of different choices that the church has when it comes to how to configure the stage. One of the things that we got away from with this particular installation was a lot of floor boxes. So you'll see there's really only 3 or 4 floor boxes in the entire stage, but we're using sub-snakes for the system. That gives a lot more availability for different types of stage configurations. In addition, we've got subwoofer cavities with the AVE QRX 218s, which are incredibly awesome subs. One of the things that we did with this design is we designed the sub cavities with concrete walls on the sides and heavy doors on the top, and then we packed the sub chambers with sandbags so that there was no flex to the subwoofer box at all, and the result is just a massive chest-pounding bassability out of the subwoofers. If we pan up and we look at the XI mains here, as I mentioned, we have the left, center, right configuration, and we did something a little bit more unique with this design where we use polar focus rigging. It's not a low-cost way to go, but it's incredible because we can really accurately aim the loudspeakers and even change it if we needed to. So the speakers are rigged with adjustable rigging is probably the best way to put it. And then of course we have projector screens that had to be perfectly positioned so that the loudspeaker was not in the way of the projected image and that type of thing. And then you'll see there right in that shot, we have the two screens, one in the back for two screens in the center, one in the back for standard worship events, and then the one in the front, which is larger, and that gets used for the movie nights. And that projector in the center does both, the work of both for movie nights and for the worship service. And then we've got a setting on the Crestron where it's on a timer and it changes the zoom back and forth to facilitate a larger image for movie night and then a smaller image for the back screen for the standard worship events. So lots and lots of flexibility with this room is probably the best way to put it, and just an awesome sound and video system. As I mentioned, we have not a lot of floor boxes in this youth theater room, but we do have DMX up on stage on the wall here to your left, so we can plug in intelligent lighting fixtures, and then we've got power for those as well on 20 amp circuits. And then in the floor box there, you'll see we've got a mass connect for a sub-snake. We have AVE in that snake, AVE Cat 5 lines. We have floor wedge monitor or speaker level connection, and we also have the mic lines. The sub-snake is really nice because you can move it and put it right below the drum kit or right in between maybe the musicians and the drum kit and position it the way you want. And then when you strike the stage and clean everything off, you can move it to the back, and then the stage is nice and clean for an event such as a school graduation or something like that, or a school choir with risers. Okay, so we're backstage here at Cedar Valley Church. This is the youth theater room amp rack area, and we've got basically two Mid-Atlantic gangable racks here. First, starting on the left side, we've got the AVE personal monitor mix patch bay. This is because we've got more connections on the stage in floor boxes and on the snake than we have AVE channels to work with. So what this allows them to do is take the personal monitor mix sends that are coming from the front of house mix position to whatever stage box or floor box personal monitor mix location they want. So if they put the little personal monitor mixer on the front part of the stage or on the back part of the stage, they can patch it really easily. And this is really great because then you can use only 8 channels to service an entire larger stage. Same thing with the passive floor wedge monitors. We can patch those as well here, and this cuts down on the number of amp channels that we've got. Below this, we've got the Crestron processor. This is the touch panel that I showed you that has all the different control options for controlling the sound, the video, and the lighting. And then we've got Furman's PS Pro 2 surge protection and power sequencing. So below that, we've got a drawer for equipment. So we've got a place for extra patch cables, etc. And then we've got our 2 amplifiers that run the passive floor wedge monitors. So currently right now they've got 8 channels of power for passive floor wedge monitors, and then they also have the AVE personal mixing, so a lot of capability when it comes to the personal monitor system. Okay, so the whole system is an Electro Voice bass system, and we've got the NetMax processing up here in the top. We've got the control from the front of house mix location, so I can dial in from front of house and I can look at the DSP at any time. I can look at what it's doing. This is really the heart of the sound system, and NetMax is pretty top-end equipment when it comes to DSP. This is also what is doing the FRI drive filter preset processing for the tri-amp loudspeakers. So as you'll see here, there's a lot of amp channels because we've got Electro Voice's XI series cabinet, and each one is tri-amped. So separate amp channel for the high frequency, separate amp channel for the mid, and separate for the low in each cabinet. And then we have the subs and the subwoofer amp at the bottom. So you'll see we've got the CPS 12 amps all through here, and then we have the Furman PS Pro 2 sequencer and surge protection through the whole system. And at the bottom there, at the very bottom, we've got the Electro Voice TG7, which is a super high-end, high horsepower amplifier that runs the subs. So all in all, this is a really big, awesome sound system, and it's just incredible that the church made the investment in it. So here we have the back of the amp rack at Cedar Valley Church and the youth theater room amps. One of the things I'd like you to notice is the clean cable management that we've done. All of our systems like this are schematiced ahead of time, and then when they're installed, we wire number on all of the cables, and that wire numbering goes back to the schematic to create an as-built drawing. You'll also see that with these racks on the very top, we've got Mid-Atlantic's thermal control system. So we've got top fans that suck heat from the bottom of the rack out the top. This controller up here is actually a variable speed controller based on heat load. So we have a sensor inside the rack, and when the rack heats up, the fans spin up and run, and then when the system is turned off, the fans still run until the rack is cool. And this really protects your investment in equipment over the long term. This is the ETC Sensor Plus dimming rack that handles the youth theater room at Cedar Valley Church. If I open the door, these are all the dimmer modules. Each dimmer module is two dimmer channels. The nice thing about the ETC product is you can hot swap. So right there I just hit the circuits, I can take it out, and if one is failing I can just switch it around and put a new one in. Hit the breaker and it's back on again. If we scroll over here, this is the Paradigm ETC processor. Paradigm is a low voltage control system for the dimming, and it's DMX based. So the really nice ETC Ion console they have for moving lights, for setting up scenes and so forth, communicates with this box, and this tells this dimming rack what to do.